PLC Network here with another unboxing, this time coming from the company Hollyland. And this is yet another microphone from this company that offers some amazing features to it and probably sounds good too. This is the Hollyland Lark M2 wireless microphone kit. And it is for pretty much anyone using a mobile solution to get yourself out there for, vlogging, podcasting, interviews. It's great for schools, anyone who just needs a small mobile kit that doesn't take up a lot of space, that's easy to carry or roll around. This is for them. Regardless if you're just a beginner or even if you are a prosumer, this might be an option to add into your inventory of gear. The wireless microphones in this kit offer up to 48 kilohertz and 24-bit sound. So you're not, or at least you shouldn't hear a lot of over-compressed audio that's going to sound muddy or anything. You should be able to get crisp, clear audio out of these microphones. They feature a signal-to-noise ratio, or SNR, of 70 decibels and up to 115 decibels of SPL, or sound pressure level. They offer noise cancellation, which is kind of expected coming out of any mobile kit these days. If they're modern, they have to have some form of noise cancellation or noise suppression, let it be active or just ambient and environmental. But this offers noise cancellation that's adjustable between 3 different levels. You have off, you have low, you have strong, allowing you to really customize them to whatever situation you might be in. If you're in a controlled atmosphere like this studio, you probably won't have noise suppression enabled or cancellation. But if you're in a noisier environment, let's say outside, and it's just a little bit windy, or it's traffic that's going by, that's the stuff you're really going to try to cancel out, or dogs barking, or people chatting across the street, somebody dropping something on the ground nearby. You're going to want to adjust that to low or strong depending on that situation. Or you might be in a busier indoor environment as well. Hollyland offers 3 different ways of attaching these microphones to your subject. Unlike normal situations where you're just clipping it to somebody's shirt, you can still clip it to somebody's shirt, or you can use a magnet to simply attach it to their shirt with a backing behind the shirt material or whatever else they're wearing, as well as a necklace in case you just simply want to hang it around somebody's neck. You also get up to 10 hours of use on a single charge, and since of course it has a charging case for everything to travel in, it does provide up to 2 more full charges as you're keeping them in the case. So you should be able to get a lot of battery life out of this before having to put it back on the charger. And what's really interesting is the company is saying that these offer up to 300 meters line of sight when it comes to distance between the receiver and the transmitters. 300 meters. I mean, that's like 1,000 feet line of sight, which sounds a little unbelievable. So we'll have to probably test that out to make sure. But that's pretty good, especially for their size. They're so small. So 1,000 feet line of sight is pretty impressive, given. Got to keep in mind that's line of sight. So if you have any structures or anything else blocking you, let it be walls within a building or trees and buildings and cars or anything else that's between you and or at least the transmitter and the receiver, that's going to bring that down significantly or just slightly. But if you have a perfect line of sight, let's say you're just standing in an open field, you should technically be able to get up to 1,000 feet between the two. Wouldn't recommend it though, because you might start experiencing some drops at that point and you don't want to take chances with your content, but 1,000 feet's pretty impressive, while also being lightweight. I mean, these transmitters, the little microphones, are only 9 grams in weight. So when you hook them up to somebody, they're not going to be distracted by any weight hanging off their shirt. If the person's wearing a loose blouse or anything, you're not going to have to worry as much about the microphone weighing things down. And 9 grams. That's pretty good. And this kit comes with multiple different options. You can buy it as a 3.5 millimeter kit, so you can just connect it to a DSLR camera or anything else that takes 3.5 millimeter input for analog input. You can also get it in USB-C format for mobile devices. And you can also do Lightning, of course, in case you're using, we'll say now, an older Mac device or Apple device that still makes use of a Lightning port. You have the option of buying this in a Lightning format. Or in this case, it's a combo. You're getting all the above. You're getting your 2 transmitters, you're getting your 3.5 millimeter receiver, plus you're getting your receivers for both USB-C and Lightning all in one kit. So no matter what you do, no matter where you're going, no matter what gear you're taking, all you need is this, and it'll connect to any of it. And what's nice is that the 3.5 version works on anything that should accept a 3.5 millimeter mic input. But the USB-C version also has a lot of flexibility, as it can connect to not just your mobile devices, but also your PCs in terms of laptop, desktops, or anything else that can take audio input over USB-C. And the price range is pretty good as well. It starts off at about $139 and it ends at $179. So if you're getting one of the smaller mobile versions, like USB-C or Lightning maybe, it might be about $139. But if you're getting the full combo, it's going to be $179. That's a pretty good value for everything you're getting and all the features it supports. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open this up. We're going to see what it looks like, what it comes with, and then we're going to connect it to our camera here and see what it sounds like. So let's go ahead and open it up. And the first thing that's on top here is some documentation that's stuffed away into that little envelope. Of that documentation, you have a little card that just says we're here for you, and with some contact information for you to reach out to them if you have questions or concerns. You have some compliance information. You have some interesting stickers here that you can apply to the microphone if you decide to apply them to a microphone. You can choose from various different emoticon or emojis, and or just white and black for solid colors. Maybe you want to write something on there. You have a packing list here that just shows you everything that should be in the box. And you have a quick guide which is going to walk you through all the features and buttons and controls and then everything on both the transmitters and the receiver, or in this case, receivers. And then you have a view of the charging case and the two receivers that are USB-C and Lightning. And with that, they are also very small. I mean, they're tiny. These are not going to add any weight to your mobile devices. I mean, they are very small. And your mobile device is going to be a lot wider than these, so they're just going to kind of just disappear into the background as you're making use of them. So you have the USB-C version here, and you have the Lightning version here, depending on if you're using this with a mobile device that's either USB-C or Lightning. They are very simple. You have some LED lights right across the front so you can see what their status is in terms of their operation, on or off. There are no batteries in these. These are going to obtain power from the mobile device that you plug them into. And then you have a button here at the bottom. This is going to be for turning on noise cancellation or triggering pairing. And then, of course, on the side of each, you have a USB-C connection here, and that's so that you can actually power them, or at least it has pass-through charging, so you can actually charge your device while using them so you're not draining your battery. Then you have the charging case. Now, the charging case is also small. It's very compact, and it carries both the 3.5 millimeter receiver as well as the two transmitters. It will not carry these for whatever reason, which is fine. The only thing, I mean, you could technically probably, you can fit one of those in here if you want. So if you don't want to bring this with you, you can just toss that in there. The only difference is when this is in there, this is going to be charging from the case, when this obviously won't, because there's no battery. But you can at least store it in there if you want, if you don't plan on making use of that. So that way you can still bring everything in one case. Now, is this an official feature from this product? No, that's just me going, it fits, it stores. The 3.5 millimeter receiver here is also incredibly small. It's very lightweight. There's literally no weight to this, which is awesome. It does take a charge since you cannot charge over 3.5 millimeters, but it does obviously contain a very good battery life, so that isn't really an issue. Unless you're recording more than 30 hours in a day, or give or take, this should last you a full day without ever having to plug this into the wall. Now, on the front of it, you have this really easy to use volume wheel, which is nice. So this means that you can actually adjust the volume of the microphones as you're recording without potentially shaking the camera much, because it's not really putting a lot of pressure in there to turn that. On the side here, you have a 3.5 millimeter output, and this is going to be going to your camera. And there's going to be a cable in here, so you're going to have 3.5 millimeter out of this to your camera for audio out, and you're going to have some LEDs here across the front for status, as well as two indicators on the top for transmitter 1 and 2 to show that they're active and what mode they're in. And then on the side here, you have, once again, another USB-C port, so you don't have to use this. You can plug this directly into a charger if you like, or you can plug this into your camera rig if your camera rig has USB-C charging, so that way you're always keeping this charged without having to worry about this dying. And then you have two buttons here. You have your power button, and then you have your mode and pairing button here at the bottom. And obviously the mode button is going to be for your noise cancellation and whatnot, and mono and stereo features. And then the pairing button is obviously so you can pair the transmitters to this in case you need to do so. Now everything should be already automatically paired, but you may have to pair in between the receivers when you're switching receivers between 3.5, USB-C, and Lightning, so that way they know which receiver to connect to at any given point in time. But they should be automatically paired to one of these at least, if not all three. And if it's just one, I would assume it's the 3.5 millimeter one since it's tucked away in there with them. As for the transmitters, again, these are 9 grams in weight. They do not weigh much at all. And you're going to find this to be incredibly useful when miking people up. Like I said, it's not going to weigh down the clothing much at all. Now it's just enough weight where if somebody is wearing a loose blouse with really thin material, it might still weigh it down a little bit, but put something stiff behind it like a business card, fold it in half or something, and it should keep it in place just fine. But again, you have the ability of clipping this to your subject, kind of like you would a lavalier microphone. You have the option of using this magnet, which just goes behind the person's shirt, which I'll show you like this. And then it just attaches to the magnet, and you're ready to go. Take that back off. It's a very simple solution that gets the job done quite nicely. The bottom, of course, you just have your charging contacts for the case. On the side here, you have a yellow button here that is kind of a multi-purpose button. This is going to be for changing the noise cancellation on and off. It's going to be for pairing, as well as turning it on and off by just simply pressing and holding it down. And of course, with the contacts being uncovered by the little pieces of plastic, it should turn on and off with the case as you're putting them in and taking them out. What's really nice is these are absolutely tiny, especially for what they're capable of, especially if they can transmit up to 1,000 feet with line of sight. Then you have your accessories. They do provide you with a drawstring bag, which is really useful, so that way you can store all these accessories, since obviously not everything fits into the charging case. All you can fit are those 3 items. Now here what we have is a wind screen, a fur windscreen specifically, which is used for situations where you have wind. So if you're outside or you have a heavy breather, someone who just happens to be breathing downwards for whatever reason, and that is, getting picked up by the microphone, then you would put this on your lavalier mic, and then that would help reduce some of that wind or all of it. In this case, usually these would clip onto a top of a microphone, but since the whole thing is your microphone, what you do is you simply just wrap it around your microphone. It just covers the whole thing. And then you stick it to your subject, and you're ready to go. And it just looks like they have a little piece of fur hanging off their shirt, which is even less detectable than putting this on directly. And of course, you're going to get 2 of these, since you have 2 microphones. They do provide you with 1 USB-C charging cable here, so that you can keep the case and all of its contents charged. You get a 3.5 millimeter cable here. As mentioned, this was to go between your receiver and a DSLR camera or anything else that takes 3.5 millimeter analog input. And this is probably going to be one of your most widely used accessories, unless you do all of your filming all the time using mobile devices. And here we have 2 clips. These clips make use of the same magnet on the back of the microphones as that little other microphone or piece of metal here that's used to go underneath the shirt. So they just simply attach to the back of the microphone, and then you can clip it to their shirt however you need to, so you can mic them up like you would a normal lavalier. So it's an easy-on solution onto a clip, as well as onto the back of the magnet that goes behind the shirt material. And then finally, you have your necklaces. Again, this is for when you just want to simply hang the microphone around somebody's neck. You would just simply put this around their neck, and then you would take the microphone and attach it to it like that. So now it's just hanging around their neck however you want it to. You can adjust it a little bit with these little adjusters here to get it as close to their mouth, or without getting too close, as possible, just like you would position a lavalier microphone on the shirt like this. So if they're wearing a dress that's just too loosely fit, it's thin material, you feel like this magnet's going to weigh it down. Same thing if you try to clip anything to them, you can just hang this around their neck and pick it up from there. And that's it. So you have the 3 different options for picking up the microphones, the receivers. You have the 2 microphones. You have the 3 different ways that you can mic people using the magnet or the clip or the necklace, and all three of them make use of magnets to pull that off. You even get some windscreens, your charging cable, that analog cable, and a really nice durable soft pouch to put all your accessories in. So altogether, this is a pretty good package for at least up to $179. It seems to be a pretty good price point, but the one thing that's going to make the biggest difference is how does it sound. So let's go ahead and take a listen. So what you're listening to now is the Hollyland Lark M2 wireless microphone. It is clipped to my shirt via the magnet that I put behind my shirt. And this is what it sounds like. No noise cancellation is turned on. This is simply connected to the 3.5mm receiver that's connected to our camera. Or at least in our situation, it's adapted to XLR going to our setup since our camera is a little bit bigger than what you might normally use in a mobile rig. The only thing we changed is we took the volume down a little bit to match our other microphone, which, by the way, is also a Hollyland that we decided to start this unboxing with. So you were listening to Hollyland's flagship, the Lark 150. And the only other thing we did was switch it from stereo to mono mode, so you're hearing it in both channels. If it was in stereo mode, obviously one microphone would be in your left channel and the other one would be in your right channel. So again, this is the Hollyland Lark M2. This is the second generation of their M series. And this is using no noise cancellation at the moment. Again, this is a controlled atmosphere. We have a small fan in the corner of there that's kind of making a little bit of noise that we stuck there just for some random room noise to see if it picks it up. And it might not. And what we're going to do, just to make sure, is we're going to put on noise cancellation by simply pressing that button once, the yellow button on the side. By doing that, it switches the blue light to a green light, and now you have noise cancellation enabled. So this would take any kind of noise in your environment, or I'm not going to say any, or I shouldn't say any kind of noise, but if somebody's coughing over there, talking, or making a noise, somebody drops something, there's a dog barking, there's traffic going by, or anything like that, it should filter that out nicely. Now, it's not going to be perfect, something to keep in mind, especially with something so simple such as this. It's not going to have the biggest state-of-the-art active noise cancellation built into it where it can cancel out anything, which even with the best products out there, that's still very variable. Nothing's perfect at this time. Not until we actually have true AI built into everything. And when I say true, I mean true AI, not what's in the market now, which is impressive AI, but not exactly true self-aware AI that can really decipher anything from anything. So for now, for the size you're getting everything in, this is probably going to be some of the best noise cancellation you can get in this situation. So that's it. Again, this is the Hollyland Lark M2 wireless microphone kit. This is the combo version, so you're getting the USB-C version, the Lightning version, and the 3.5mm analog version, which we have connected to our camera right now. All of those are receivers, and the transmitters, these tiny little pucks, are the same no matter which package you get. And again, that price ranges from $139 to $179. We'll make sure to provide all links in the description of this video so you can follow along and also figure out where to buy these products. And of course, if you liked what you've seen here, don't forget to subscribe and follow us and click that like button so we know you liked this video specifically, and definitely make use of the comments down below in case you have any questions, comments for us, each other, or of course the manufacturer if they are watching. As always, we thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, and or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.